Okay, great Wednesday morning. It's the midweek edition of the program Sports Bang on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. It feels good to be here again this Wednesday morning, the fifth day.
The fifth day, actually.
Well, okay, so where am I rushing to exactly? The fifth day in the month of May, year 2021. Well, this is Splash 105.5 FM, broadcasting from the White House building, Felele in Ibadan. It is Sports Bang. My name is Tunde Olawu. Of course, Faith Adedeji is right here. Maybe shortly we'll start to add something. But for now, it is what it is. You know, what happened yesterday, we dropped a question on our Instagram that people should predict the scoreline of yesterday's game. The first three winners ordinarily would have gone with 5,000 naira each. I saw 1-1, 2-1, 3-1. 2-2. Nobody went for 2-0. Maybe because they didn't envisage a situation where PSG wouldn't be able to score at least a goal. But it is what it is. Faith Adedeji, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Tunde. Good morning, Ibadan. Good to be back. Well, we would not have expected that yesterday. But then, I was actually rushing in yesterday to catch up with that game. And the moment I saw the lineup, I knew that PSG would not do anything in that game. Pochettino repeated the same mistake from last week. I was saying it here on Thursday morning last week. That, well, I'm not sure he probably saw that same error, what happened last week. And that was the same thing that happened this time around. You don't have fullbacks that are attack-minded. You don't have attacking fullbacks to give you the width. You cannot, model up the middle of the park the same way he did last week. You can't be playing about three central midfielders with Neymar also dropping that deep. You'll be outnumbered in those creative spaces, in those positions that you can actually hurt the opponent. But then he repeated the same thing, and I was so unfortunate. I knew there was nothing, and then he even changed the left back. He played a particular Abdul Diallo, who was not even able to to hold down whatever Riyad Mahrez will be bringing to the table. The person he even played last week did a better job. So these are some of the reasons why you say that, well, they call him the butler. These are some of those things you would see at the biggest of stages, those slim margins that would determine and separate the best from the rest. Well, we're about saying something. I just completed a coaching course, so maybe PSG, and I will say thanks to Tunde for the scholarship. So maybe PSG should reach out to Tunde, who is my agent, to maybe replace Pochettino if they want to.
You want to start with PSG, not Van Dresser FC.
No, there's nothing about
FC Robo.
No, I think
maybe Crown.
The higher the stake, the higher the pressure. It also toughens you up. It also makes you get ready for the big stage. And PSG is me playing in the Farmers League, whether you like it or not. So maybe they are not one of those exactly big sides. And maybe the Arab owners should just reach out to you to get across to me.
Okay, I think that will be absolutely interesting. We were asking yesterday if City could finish the job. Of course, they did in grand style, thanks to Riyad Mahrez scoring 2 goals. And of course, no thanks to Angel Di Maria losing his head in a crucial semi-final second leg. So, Manchester City, for the first time, they are in the finals of the UEFA Champions League. Well, for Pep Guardiola, you could see what it meant to him. He said, look, my 5 years, here is now getting the kind of, let me say, the credits that it deserves. Remember, he was brought in specifically to win the Champions League. And this season, he could go all the way to win a treble. But then again, something will happen later this evening as well. Chelsea against Madrid. Remember, this is evenly poised as it stands right now. 1-0. Well, Chelsea at home, maybe some kind of advantage. We'll talk about the Champions League later on the program. But hey, Jose Mourinho back in the saddle again this time around. He's taking his business to the Italian Serie A, as he's now been announced as the new head coach of AS Roma in Italy. He will take charge from July this year. The 58-year-old Portuguese, who has won 25 trophies in his managerial career, was sacked by Premier League team Tottenham Hotspur in April after just 17 months in charge, Mourinho will take charge of the Italian side out of the 2021-2022 campaign with a deal that will run until 30th of June 2024. Roma announced earlier on Tuesday that current coach Paolo Fonseca will leave his role at the end of the current campaign. The club suffered a heavy 6-2 defeat against Manchester United in the Europa League semi-final first leg last week and currently sits 7th in the league. Mourinho is one of the most well-known and successful managers in the game and has previously coached the likes of Real Madrid, Manchester United, Inter Milan, Chelsea, and of course, recently Tottenham Hotspur. What do you make of this new move by the special one?
Well, it's looking like Roma owners are trying to get back on track. For a team that last won their Serie A title in the 2000-2001 season, you say that, that is a long time ago. That's about 20 years from now. So, and if you want to do that, maybe you look at one of the tested and trusted hands out there. Maybe his stock might be dwindling right now. Maybe his stock is falling. You would say that, but then it still remains one of those, I would say one of those sure ways of getting trophies. Someone that has won 25 career trophies, is won at Porto, and then he has also done well at the Italian Serie A. In fact,
he speaks fluent Italian.
Italian, yeah, obviously. His time at Inter Milan, in fact, he developed a very, very cordial relationship with the fans of Inter Milan. And it's one of some people were saying maybe he would have waited for the AC Milan job. At the end of the season, the AC Milan job probably would have been open for him. But I don't think Mourinho would want to take the AC Milan job because of the kind. I think that is the only club he still feels like he has a particular kind of attachment to, the emotional side of him. Whenever you talk about Inter Milan, whenever you ask him about Inter Milan, it shows that emotional side of him. And I think maybe that is one reason why he wouldn't want to go to their perennial rivals, talking about AC Milan and all that. But it's time for him to take AS Roma back to that big, the kind of big club status in Italy. And of course, with Conte right now, current champion of Italy, maybe that would look like another fantastic rivalry. We saw the rivalry a little bit in the English Premier League. So maybe you will bring back that rivalry. Of course, we also saw that Roma's stocks, their shares were going up about 21%, just about 1 hour after they announced Jose Mourinho. So it still shows the kind of pedigree, the kind of maybe clout in quotes now that this man will bring to the club side. We'll all be talking about AS Roma for the foreseeable future. That is something that is very sure. But Mourinho will also know that the onus is on him to find his way back to the top. If he gets it right with Roma, then maybe the big jobs will come calling again. But if he doesn't get it right this time, maybe it might just be the last chance alone for him.
Well, I've heard this again and again. If you look at the trajectory of his career from, his days at Porto, when, he announced himself to the world by winning the Champions League, Chelsea, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, back to Chelsea, Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur, and now with his, new club that is set to join, this summer. It's been, very high pressure jobs, but with Roma, it's a little bit different. This is a club that has not been really successful in recent time. The last manager to win, any kind of cup for them was Giuliano Spalletti. But then in terms of the league title was Fabio Capello. That was, so maybe almost 20 years ago. Yeah. Do you think this man, given the resources available at that club, that they don't stand anywhere close to the likes of Juventus, Inter Milan, even AC Milan and Napoli, will they be able to deliver something credible? Or maybe it's just about building for the future?
If you asked me this question some 3, 4, 5 years ago, I would have said outrightly that yes. But now the Jose Mourinho we are seeing now, and we saw it at Tottenham Hotspur. You still say Tottenham Hotspur was not exactly a high pressure job. A club that has also
maybe would have won the cup, the Carabao Cup. They didn't allow him to play the final.
No, he wasn't looking like he would win it. So
he was already in the final.
But he didn't get to play in the finals because he had a terrible run of form. He had a terrible patch. He had
in the league.
In the league, yes.
They should have allowed him play the final.
No, you can't translate. You can't necessarily say that.
And I saw a bit of beef there. But let's put that aside.
But then the Tottenham Hotspur job is also one job you see is not exactly a high pressure job. This was a club side. This is a club side that have not won a trophy since 2008 as well. So maybe it still comes in this particular frame. And he didn't win anything at Tottenham Hotspur. It remains the only club side in his coaching career where he didn't get to win any silverware. So
he was only there for 17 months.
17 months for Jose Mourinho it should be enough for him to win something.
No, add the fact that when he took charge, the club was, I think, somewhere in 14th position.
You say Pochettino destroyed the club before he
came.
But then he's a special one. He should be doing special things. So
and he got them to the finals. That's special.
He didn't win.
They didn't allow him to play it.
No, stop saying they didn't.
He didn't lose the final.
But he didn't play it.
Yes, because they didn't allow him.
He didn't win it. He didn't win it. He wouldn't have won it. The handwriting was
That's
on the wall.
That's an assumption.
And the club owners also saw the commercial angle to it. If he had played the finals and he had won the finals, he would have met his objective at the club. His objective at the club was to win silverware for them, and it would have meant more compensation for them. So Daniel Levy also looked at the business angle to it. I expect Tottenham fans probably to be protesting that and all that, but it is what it is. Hoping that going forward now, Jose Mourinho will be able to add an added attention, added spice to the Italian league. We want to see the kind of rivalry we've seen in times past, where you see the AC Milans, the Inter Milans, Juve and all that. So maybe AS Roma should also come into the mix now. And then it's looking like I saw the Serie A handle as well on Twitter post about it. I said this is a very, very
big man is in town,
and that is what is happening. I hope he will show that he's actually the big man.
Okay, we wish him all the best on this one. Let's quickly come back home. The Nigerian Rugby Federation has been suspended indefinitely from global activities. This was announced by Rugby Africa in the indefinite suspension letter sent to the Minister of Youth and Sports, Sunday Dari. The Continental Governing Body frowned at the arbitrary dissolution of the board of the Nigerian Rugby Board and the subsequent replacement with a 3-man caretaker committee. In Monday's letter, Rugby Africa warned that Nigeria stands ineligible to take part in any of its global activities except the right steps are taken in line with the approved constitution of the Rugby Board. Well, we basically we don't have any sporting federation in place now because the Minister of Youth and Sports dissolved all of them, and these are the kind of situations we'll see. Maybe aside from the football federation. Yeah. Well, it is what it is. Let us see how that will pan out. We'll take business now to the Champions League. Before we talk about tonight's game, Chelsea versus Real Madrid. You don't get to win 3 Champions Leagues, 2 La Liga titles, and 13 out of 14 European knockout ties if you're not a good manager. We're speaking here of Zinedine Zidane, but somehow it doesn't seem to get the kind of credit that it deserves. Later this evening is up against Thomas Tuchel on the other hand for the Champions League second leg semi-final. What do you see tonight?
Well, I see a tactical battle. I see 2 coaches that understand the game properly. Thomas Tuchel has shown that he understands the game. Maybe the first leg he would have gotten a better result if he had better personnel, better, I would say ammunition to go into the battle with. Had it been Timo Werner was more clinical in that first leg, or more lethal, he probably would have gotten that all-important win in the first leg. But then they still have the advantage. But then you're playing against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Anything can happen. You can see Real Madrid, the kind of you say the pride, the arrogance that comes with Real Madrid in the Champions League. They've been announcing that Ramos will be available, Valverde will be available. Like, it has been about their big boys. There's a way they come so big in the Champions League and all that. So you also look at that. And Zidane has also shown, maybe many people underrate him. They underrate or undermine his technical ability and his tactical ability. But I would say he still remains one of those fantastic coaches right now, because I've seen him show tactical flexibility time and time again in games, especially in the knockout stages of the Champions League. Sometimes it comes with a flat 4-4-2. Who wins with a flat 4-4-2 in modern day football? I think it's only Zinedine Zidane that does that. Sometimes it comes with a 4-3-3. Last week he played a 3-5-2 just to match Thomas Tuchel's approach, but it didn't work out. It was a little bit different for the Real Madrid players. I don't expect him to line up that way tonight as well. So I think it's a blockbuster. It's a game that you would want to see in the finals of the Champions League, Real Madrid against Chelsea. But then, I think
City is lying in wait for whoever qualifies.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, on the part of Chelsea, this somehow reminds me of the season they had in 2012. Remember, it was not going well.
Yeah, they changed their manager.
They tried their hands with somebody like Roberto Di Matteo, and then the boys showed up in the final against all odds against Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena, and they won. This season was almost going that way with Frank Lampard. Roman Abramovich made the call. Now, Thomas Tuchel, a lot of people were skeptical, especially in the British media. One, because Frank Lampard is a legend of Chelsea, is an Englishman who they felt was not given enough time. And then you're bringing somebody who some would say still has this questionable records. He managed PSG, couldn't reach the zenith with PSG in terms of winning Champions League. But now it's just 90 minutes away from a final. Do you think Chelsea is set to show the character they showed in 2012?
Yeah, I think they can. You cannot rule them out. You cannot rule anything out. I saw them at the semi-finals of the FA Cup against Manchester City, and I would say this is a team with character. They have that ability. You know, we've always seen Chelsea, maybe from the days of Jose Mourinho, they already have this siege mentality, this us against the world mentality, where they come into games with the idea that they are the underdogs. Especially,
but this is a totally different Chelsea. We don't see those. They don't have those ad not guys.
But they don't give away so many chances as well. That is one angle we are not looking at. Maybe they are not making those last deep tackles like the Carvalhos used to make, like the John Terrys used to make. But right now, in the middle of the park, they find a way to shut the opponent out. Their goalkeeper maybe makes one or two good saves in the game, and that is all. Real Madrid had only one shot on target in the first leg, and they had to be thankful that they had a clinical or a top striker like Karim Benzema to be able to convert that chance. If they had a striker that needed 3, 4, 5 chances to score, then they probably wouldn't have gotten that result.
Okay, we'll take a break now to catch up with the BBC Premier League update. To be back in a moment. Enjoy.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Al Ross at BBC Sport, and Manchester City have reached the Champions League final for the first time in the club's history. Riyad Mahrez scored both goals on the night in a 2-0 win over an ill-tempered Paris Saint-Germain, securing a 4-1 aggregate win and a place against either Chelsea or Real Madrid in the final. The former City defender Nader Manuaha says it would take a wonderful performance to stop City if they keep playing the way they are.
The standards are so high that they just want to win everything possible. So the aim is to try and win this game against Chelsea at the weekend to maybe wrap up the league. And then if they do play them in the Champions League final, I think they'll be more than prepared. Obviously, you can't guarantee a result, but based on what I've seen for these last 2 games, I think you can feel pretty good that they'll be able to put forward a good performance, and it hopefully will make a good game for the neutral.
The other semi-final between Chelsea and Real Madrid is poised at 1-1 ahead of their second leg at Stamford Bridge, but the Spanish club have announced that captain Sergio Ramos is available again after injury. Just 15 days after being sacked by Tottenham, Jose Mourinho's return to football management's been confirmed. He will take charge of Roma from next season, replacing Paulo Fonseca, who will leave at the end of the current campaign. European football writer Nicky Bandini says there's a huge task facing the former Spurs manager to make a Roma side that can challenge for top honours.
I think that's going to be a really fascinating dynamic to see how much Mourinho expects of the ownership in this coming transfer window, whether he's got some agreement with them about the amount of money the club will be spending, the sorts of players they're going to go after, because to me right now, this is not one of the top squads in Italy.
And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Okay, there you listen to the Premier League updates. Sergio Ramos, captain of Real Madrid, is back and fit to play in today's game, even though he's 35. But then again, he's still one of those, if not the main man that you look up to, and of course, Karim Benzema. According to some people, Chelsea have got 15% chance of winning the Champions League. But first, they need to get to the final first. What do you see in tonight's game in just about 30 seconds?
Well, I see Real Madrid. I see Real Madrid qualifying one way or the other. Chelsea fans wouldn't want to hear that. But then, I think for the purpose of the Magic Night, we might be having a Madrid-Manchester City final based on my own prediction.
Okay, we'll be here tomorrow to talk more about your prediction. I like what Pep said yesterday. He said, my 5 years now makes sense.
Until he wins it.
Okay.
Not just about getting
it looks like
final.
Man City season, but then again, who am I to say? May 29th definitely will decide a lot of things. Thank you so much, Faith Adedeji.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Just Football will be right here at 4 o'clock later today. This morning we've worked alongside Bosun Alayode. Thanks to Goke as well on the program. My name is Tunde Olawu. Have a fabulous Wednesday and bye-bye.
Splash FM